Hi everyone, my name is Aphet Lual and you are tuned in to Griot. I arrived in Canada in June 1990. Big city, different environment, very cold. Because I'm from Africa and over there is always like very, very hot. So even it was in June, now in June here is very hot, but June when we came from Africa, it was really, really cold for us to be here. So it was like a new environment, new city, just a happy kid to be in a different environment. The biggest change in Ottawa that I noticed, we don't work together. I find that back then, there was in 1990 when I came, it was like the racism was there, but it was more visual. Like people were actually acting. People would tell you, why don't you go back to your country? You know what I mean? Like, what are you looking at? You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, they would judge you from what you're wearing, from what you eat, you know? But now I find it like it's not visual. It's not out there, but it's still there, and which is more dangerous because it's like if you know and you see it, you know how to act. But when you don't see it and then you walk into it, that's more dangerous. You know what I mean? So that's the difference now than before. And before, I find that even for Black History Month, we did have a lot of information. We were doing it because I was one of the after I learned how to speak English, I became one of the like models for Black History Month. So we went from each school. I went to Lusterby. So we went from each school talking to kids about Black History Month and about racism. You have a voice, you speak up. You know what I mean? Don't, just because you don't speak the language, speak up. When people hurt you, sometimes everybody has different stories. Everybody has different outbringing. You know what I mean? And for me, knowing how you were brought up or knowing how you are or knowing what brought you here, it would make me act towards you different. You know, it would make you treat you different. It would make me understand you better. You know what I mean? But I need to hear your voice. So that was what was going on. And even at the school where I was going, that was one thing that I noticed a lot. It was that a lot of the kids that were going there, immigrants or not immigrants, even Canadians, they were not speaking up. They were shy because they didn't know the language or they were very afraid to voice their voice, you know what I mean? Or they think that nobody's gonna listen. So after I learned English and I was in grade 11, I said, you know what, I'm gonna make change. I wanna make the changes. I might not make a big changes. I only have one more year left before I graduate, but I wanna go to each student and I want to talk, or I wanna go have a meeting, you know what I mean, and talk to the students that can voice their voice. It's very important to voice your voice, you know what I mean, either at home, on the street, at school. You have to tell people how you feel, you know what I mean, and what you want to do. What are your goals? You know what I mean? Write down your goals, you know what I mean? When you write them down, you'll be there. For me, even to be here today, I'm grateful because as a little girl, I was there watching my aunt do hair at home, you know what I mean? And I sat there and watched her. And by 7 years old, I got up and I said to my aunt, because we did have a wedding that was going on that day, and everybody was doing hair, but except there was one little girl, nobody could do her hair for her. So I asked my aunt, is it okay if I can do it? And they're like, but you're only 7. I'm like, yeah, I can climb on the stool. Just give me a comb and a brush and I can do it. And they look at me, they laugh. They're like, come on, Aphet, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have time right now, you know what I mean? We just want to hurry up because we're running late. I'm like, exactly, you're running late. Let me just do something with her hair. If you like it, we keep it. If you don't like it, you can take it out. So they're like, okay, you know, they push the little girl and they're like, okay, you can do it. Within like 45 minutes, I did the little girl's hair. I did cornrows going up in a bun. And after that, the top part of her, because I wasn't allowed to use a curling iron So what I did, I just left it off as an afro. So I just braided all up in one with an afro on the side. And everybody was surprised. They're like, you know how to do cornrows? How is it that you're 7 and you know how to do cornrows? So I'm like, well, I've been watching. And that was the first time that I ever did my hairstyle. And from since then, it was just, so again, being young or being old or being teenager or being a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a cousin, it's good to voice the voice, and that's what we don't have today. My work, I love to do hair, but before I came to doing hair, it's like I venture around other things, because as every parents have dreams for their kids. My parents wanted me to be a doctor, a nurse, or a lawyer. But my dreams were, I wanted to be an artist. I love to draw, and I love to do hair. From being a little girl, I started doing hair when I was 7 years old, doing cornrows for everybody in the neighborhood. My parents, we live in the army base because my dad is a police. So I did all the kids' hair in the army base. So it was a passion that I had. And drawing, that's what I do in my free time, like just doing drawing and everything. So when we came to Canada, I went to school. I started doing nursing, but that still did not find passion in it. I work at Chez. I volunteer at the Pearly. I volunteer at the Your Manners. I've been everywhere. A unit mission, Salvation Army, just volunteering, just to find myself if this is really what I want to do. Then I realized, you know what, I like to work with people, and I like to put that smile on people, but it wasn't in health-wise, it was more in beauty. So I decided to go to hair school, and I just wanted to do hair. So at first I started doing it at home, and then I started doing it at Silver and Gold downtown, and then I worked with Mama C, and now I'm working at Silver and Gold. So I've been everywhere, but my dream is to do hair. I want to be the best hairstylist in Ottawa or in the world. So it's baby step, but I'll get there. My line of work, I find that doing hair, I don't do it for money. It's a passion. I love doing hair. I love the feeling that I give people when they walk away. I like for someone else to see the person hair and when they ask, who did your hair? And they mention my name, that feeling, it motivates, like that, just that motivation. It gives me like the the power, you know, like, oh, that's my work, you know what I mean? And everybody's liking it, you know what I mean? That's what the passion that I like to hear, or just my work being out there, you know what I mean? That just gives me that happiness. First was the food, the people, the culture. It was like, my parents were more strict, you know what I mean? There were these parents that they just immigrated, we just came to Canada. We were not allowed to go and hang out in the parks, play with your friends, call your friends, go to your friend's house and stuff like that. It was more like going to school and coming home right away. I did go through with the kids because we didn't speak English. I was 16 when I came and I didn't speak English at all, but I speak 6 African languages because my mom is the Dinka tribe. My dad is the Dinka tribe, my mom is the Luo tribe, and then in the country where we're from, there's about 155 dialects. So we learned the languages, you know what I mean? We're traveling around the world before we came here. So for us, we spoke all these languages, but English was not one of them. So to go to school and being put in grade 9, not speak English or write English was the hardest thing to do. So, stop a minute. It's the hardest thing to do. So making friends, communicating with the teacher, even like trying to voice your opinion, it was hard. But you just take your time, and within time, it took us maybe a week and we learned how to speak it. Yes, because we were motivated. Like, it was like, we have to learn it, you know what I mean? And that was one thing with us. I'm the siblings of 8 children. I'm the oldest of the 8. So it's like, we sat there, we watched TV in English, we went outside to grocery stores, we've done it. And within like not even a week, we learned how to speak that English. So that was the hardest thing, is learning how to speak the language, you know what I mean? And then after we learned it, it became easier. Like, everything was, it was just the love, you know, getting the love from your family, support from your family, from your teachers, because we were in ESL. So, and then getting friends. One of them has actually just left from here. That was my first friend she didn't speak English, I didn't speak English, so we do sign languages. Yeah, we point at things. She's from El Salvador, the girl that just left, and I'm from Sudan. So we stick together, we stayed at the stairs, we didn't go where the kids were in lunchtime to go eat with lunch together for them. You know what I mean? We were just together. Like, I found comfort in her and she found comfort in me. So we didn't judge each other. We just stayed with each other and we became really, really good friends. And from since then, it's been like almost a decade and we're still friends today. So it's a good thing that there are people out there that will give you that chance and that opportunity, you know what I mean? Like, to bloom, you know what I mean? Because I just found that with not speaking English or not learning how to speak English, it was like you're in this little box that you didn't know how to voice your opinion. And nobody understands you. So, yeah. Well, on St. Allure, like across from my house, we had Kmart, we did have Zealous, and we had Loblaws, or IGA at the time. So we'll go there, and every day the owner, the managers knew us, and the workers, they knew us in there, because we'll go in there, we'll pick up an apple, and we'll ask them, what is this, you know what I mean? And they will tell us, and they will make us repeat it so many times that we get it right. Tomato, cucumber, you know. So like, there were some vegetables that were very hard to pronounce, and then there were some that were so easy, you know, like to say. And they became like really good friends of ours, because our parents were very like shy to go out and learn how to speak, so it took them longer. But for us, we'll go to the stores and just ask. We were not buying anything, we're just going and we'll just ask questions like, okay, what does this mean in English, you know what I mean? And they will say it. So we practice, and next thing you know, they became a good friend of ours. And we told them, we're here near in Canada, like in Ottawa, and we just want to learn the language. So they helped. And we didn't know it would help us that quick, but that's what we did. And we went to Kmart, vice versa. We'll ask what are the shoes, running shoes. They will tell us what the running shoes is. They will tell us what sweaters, dresses, skirts, you know, underwear, you know, stuff like that. So and they really, really helped. It really, really helped. And that's what helped us. It's like, you know, like, it was a motivation that we want to learn the language. And we saw that by learning the language, it would be very quick, you know what I mean, for us to go and to reach the goals that we wanted, you know what I mean, to get more comfortable in school. You're in grade 9, you know what I mean, you didn't speak English. We're in ESL, and, you know, like, being in ESL was a special ed, you know what I mean, classes and stuff like that. So we wanted to be in class with everybody else, you know what I mean, like, not being treated, you know what I mean, different. We wanted to be treated equal, you know what I mean, to be able to go on school trips with the other kids, you know what I mean. So that really helped a lot. And there was a lot of people willing to help if you want that help. Willing, you know, like, to help you if you want to stay after school, to help you with your homework, to help you with the language itself, and show you things, you know what I mean, that what's going on. So that, yeah. Being patient and compassion to others. Meaning, growing up, I didn't have a lot of patience. I was more like to get upset very quick. And I always had a serious face. I wasn't the one that, you have to know me. You have to know me to know that, oh, Aphet is a really nice person, or Aphet is a very happy little girl, or you know what I mean? Like, but if you don't know me, I'm more like, when I see you, I want to like keep my guards up, you know what I mean? Until you show me otherwise, that, okay, you know what, you're not a threat to me, then yes, you will see me letting my guard down, and then I'll be more friendly and stuff like that. And being compassionate to people is like I said, everybody else has their own history, their own problems, their own life. You don't know. So I was more like, because it was done to me, I was judged without the person knowing me or without the person, and it hurts. So for me, I started meditating. I started telling myself, okay, you know what, before you start judging, even now today that I have kids, and I teach my kids that, you know what I mean, don't judge anybody because of their color, judge them the way they treat you. But don't get me wrong, you will get that judged because of your color. But again, sometimes you teach them, you know what I mean, where you're coming from and whatever. So again, compassion with people, you have to also give those people a chance, you know what I mean. Don't just judge, you know what I mean. Don't just judge people because of what you're seeing. Try and learn, try and ask them questions, try and talk to them. Say, even just saying hi. When someone says hi back to you, you would know with their body language. You can see if they really want, if you're bothering by you saying hi to them, or it actually was nice that they really appreciate you said hi to them. It's the way they're gonna answer it. So that will open the door. Then you can start. That's when you will start having that conversation with the person, and then you see. So giving people chances and being compassionate to people and patience. So those three things have changed in my life to better. Yeah. If there was one thing that I would change, it would be, instead of going and taking medicine or going around and going to school for nursing, or going to, like PSW and doing nursing, working at Chez, working at the Pearly, I would have just gone straight into hair and beauty school. And so that's where it took longer than what I should have done it earlier than that. So that would be one thing that I would have changed. It means a lot to me because, first of all, now is that we do know that there are people out there. We do know that there is, like, again, when I was saying that, to voice your voice, you know what I mean? It's like you guys starting that and it being out there, it's going to help a lot of people that don't know how to voice their voice and that don't know how to speak. And it will open their eyes, and you guys are going to have questions that nobody know where to go and look, right? So it's like, now we do have a place where we can go. We do have someone we can call. We do, like, even today doing this interview with me, I've been in Ottawa for a decade, and I know a lot of people know me because they do their hair, or from word, from mouth to mouth. But you doing this today is going to put me out there, and it's also going to other people that don't know, that I never did their hair before, or other people that are in this industry in other businesses are going to see, oh, I didn't know she knows how to do hair, or I didn't, you know what I mean? So it's like putting people out there and bringing people up, and just knowing that you guys are there is a good opportunity for everybody, not just Black people. It's that for everybody, and which is good. You know what I mean? It's about time. We need that in Canada or in Ottawa. So thank you.